What's up guys, it's Kristen from Anime Collective. So more and more deluxe editions are being released and it's an exciting time to be collecting manga. Berserk, Hellsing, Blade of the Immortal, Trigun, and At the Mountains of Madness have already gotten the deluxe edition treatment from Dark Horse and more are on the way. But now more publishers excitedly are stepping in, Kodansha with the Vinland Saga Deluxes, Viz with the Vagabond Definitive Editions, Press with the Übel Blatt Deluxes, and Seven Seas with the Girl from the Other Side. But there are still so many incredible manga series that deserve a deluxe edition. So in this video, I'm going over all of the series that absolutely need one next. I've also covered the best hardcover manga and compared almost every deluxe edition that's been released so far, so if you're interested in those, be sure to check out those videos as well. If you liked the video, be sure to like and subscribe and let me know in the comments which series you want to see get a deluxe edition next. That said, here's the best manga that need the deluxe edition treatment. Let's kick things off with Lone Wolf and Cub, one of the most brutal, cinematic samurai stories in manga. With how Dark Horse has been handling their deluxes, I hope this one is on the horizon. It's a raw, unflinching tale of revenge and survival, packed with great fight scenes and heavy themes, including duty and fatherhood, making it one of the most influential manga ever written. But the editions we've had so far don't necessarily do the series justice. The original releases were tiny, pocket-sized volumes, and while the paperback omnibuses were an improvement, they're still not the best way to experience the series. Lone Wolf and Cub has cinematic artwork, but on smaller pages that impact gets somewhat lost, and there's a lot of gutter loss in the current editions. A deluxe hardcover would finally give it the larger format it deserves, letting Goseki Kojima's art shine the way it was meant to. You guys know I love mature samurai manga, and this would look incredible next to Vagabond and Blade of the Immortal on the shelf. Given how many series Dark Horse has re-released in hardcover, Lone Wolf and Cub feels like a perfect fit. This next one, Claymore, already has one of the best box sets I've ever seen. I even featured it in my best manga box sets video, but I'd love to see it get the deluxe edition treatment. Dark fantasy looks incredible in hardcover, and I can't stop picturing how good Claymore would look next to Berserk. At 27 volumes, it's a complete and manageable length, making it totally doable for a deluxe re-release. Written by Norihiro Yagi, Claymore is one of my favorite dark fantasy series. While it's technically a shonen, it feels closer to a seinen in tone. If you're looking for something like Berserk, this is one of the first series I always recommend. It has a mature, graphic world and a strong female lead that sets it apart. The story follows Claire, a Claymore, a half-human, half-monster warrior who hunts Yoma, terrifying creatures that disguise themselves as humans and prey on villages. But the biggest fight Claymore's face isn't just against the Yoma, it's against themselves. If they lose control, they awaken into something far worse. It's a relentless, action-packed series with some of the most visually stunning battles, and hardcovers would do the art justice. With more publishers releasing fantasy manga in hardcover and Viz entering the market with Vagabond, I hope Claymore is on their radar. Since it's already collected in a box set, a deluxe edition would be the perfect way to bring it back into the spotlight. Getting a company to invest in shonen hardcovers for a long-running series might be a tough sell, but if there's one that absolutely deserves a deluxe hardcover release, it's Dragon Ball. It's iconic and it's the grandfather of shonen. Without it, we might not have series like Naruto, Hunter x Hunter, or One Piece. Somehow, though, after all these years, we still don't have hardcovers or a definitive way to collect the series. I will say, though, that for now, the box sets are great since they collect the singles. I actually featured them in my best manga box sets video for that reason. But every other edition, including the VizBigs and 3-in-1s, has some kind of issue, whether it's censorship, page quality, or inconsistent formatting. A deluxe hardcover edition would finally give us a premium way to experience the series, hopefully in the way it was meant to be read. With Dragon Ball only being 16 volumes and Dragon Ball Z at 26, they could easily release them in waves and 3-in-1 hardcovers, similar to other deluxes. And they could include extras like full-color artwork from Akira Toriyama's art books, concept sketches, and interviews. I can only imagine how amazing a deluxe of Dragon Ball would look, potentially with bold golds, oranges, and reds like the colors of the Dragon Balls, or even some emerald greens here and there. It could easily be one of the most visually striking deluxe releases out there. A sleek hardcover design, foil stamped lettering, it's only fitting for a series as influential as Dragon Ball. Shinichi Sakamoto is one of the manga artists who truly deserves a deluxe hardcover edition. His hyper-realistic art, intricate panels, and ability to convey emotion through abstract imagery makes his works a perfect fit for a deluxe. One of my most wanted is Innocent, which has already been released by Dark Horse. It's a theatrical and intense historical drama set before the French Revolution, following Charles Henry Sanson, the executioner of Paris. The series has some of the most breathtaking artwork in manga, full of dramatic imagery and panels that make you truly feel the weight of its events. While Dark Horse's 3-in-1 Omnibus is a great way to collect the series, the gutter loss affects the two-page spreads, and a larger hardcover with better binding would only improve the reading experience. Then there's the Claymore, which is finally getting an official English release from Viz this April. One of the best seinen manga of all time, the Claymore follows Mori, a quiet introverted student who discovers a passion for climbing. The Claymore is so much more than just being about the sport, though. It dives deep into the mental struggles of its MC and concepts such as isolation and self-discovery. Like Vagabond, much of its storytelling is conveyed through art rather than just words, and he makes you feel every step of Mori's journey. Shinichi Sakamoto's works are ones I've longed to own in English for years, so I couldn't be happier that we're finally getting to experience them. With The Climber making its official English debut and Innocent being released by Dark Horse, it's exciting to see these series finally become more accessible. But there are still plenty of incredible series that remain stuck in out-of-print limbo, especially older Tokyopop titles that deserve a second life. There are so many that I'd love to see re-released, whether it's Beck or Welcome to the NHK, but the two that most deserve deluxe editions, in my opinion, are Battle Royale and GTO. Battle Royale had Ultimate Editions before, so we know it looks great in hardcover, but it's been out of print for years and needs an updated translation. This series set the blueprint for modern death games. In the series, a normal class trip turns into a nightmare when a class is thrown into the program, a brutal survival game where only one can make it out alive. With death game stories exploding in popularity as of late, there's never been a better time for a high-quality reprint. What sets Battle Royale apart most, though, is its depth. It's not just full of violence and shock value. You get inside the minds of every participant, understanding their past fears and motivations. The Tokyopop translation had issues, so a properly updated translation would make a deluxe edition even better. It's a brutal but gripping psychological thriller and one of the best seinen manga ever made. While I think Battle Royale is a better fit for a deluxe edition thanks to its detailed art and the fact that we've seen it in hardcover before, GTO is one of the best manga of all time and deserves a collector's edition of some kind. Despite releasing in the late 90s, it still holds up better than most modern series, hilarious yet meaningful, following Onizuka, a former gang member turned unconventional teacher. The Tokyopop singles are out of print and pricey, and the series needs an updated translation, so a new release would make this classic accessible again. Both GTO and Battle Royale deserve deluxe editions with updated translations and premium hardcovers. These are must-read classics, and I'd love to see them finally get the definitive releases they deserve. Honestly, I take a paperback reprint at this point since both have been out of print for so long, but they're iconic and hugely influential, so a deluxe hardcover treatment would be the best way to honor these series. With series like Mushishi now getting the collector's edition treatment from Kodansha, here's hoping. Mob Psycho 100 is another series that deserves a deluxe edition. With Dark Horse releasing so many of their series in deluxe format, and Mob Psycho 100 wrapping up at 16 volumes, I hope we see something more for the series in the future. Created by the mind behind One Punch Man, it follows Shigeo, a socially awkward but kind-hearted kid with immense psychic abilities. He takes up an apprenticeship under Reagan, a self-proclaimed psychic who's actually a total fraud. Their dynamic is hilarious, but Mob Psycho isn't just funny, it's packed with heart, emotional depth, and a lot of insane action. Shigeo suppresses his emotions, but when they hit 100%, everything erupts into chaos. The fights are some of the wildest in manga, but at its core, this is a story about growth, self-improvement, and finding strength beyond just having raw power. One of the most heartwarming aspects is how Shigeo positively influences those around him, especially Reagan, leading to one of the best mentor-student relationships. On top of all that, Mob Psycho has some of the best design singles out there. Its bold graphic aesthetic and neon color schemes would look incredible in a deluxe hardcover, and the expressive, energetic art style would truly shine in a larger, high-quality edition. With Neon Genesis Evangelion celebrating its 30th anniversary, now is the perfect time to talk about a deluxe. Right now, the best way to collect the manga is through the 3-in-1 omnibuses, which are packed with amazing bonus content, lore explanations, commentaries, and some of the best extras I've seen in a manga release. But they have a big issue. The glued binding isn't as sturdy as I would like it to be. One of my volumes even fell apart at the spine, which was a big letdown. We've seen multiple editions of Evangelion over the years, but most are out of print and the 3-in-1s don't hold up physically. This series deserves a definitive edition, a sewn binding hardcover that preserves the extras, while finally giving Evangelion the high-quality format it deserves. Written and illustrated by Yoshiyuki Sadamoto, the manga takes a different approach to the anime story, expanding on the characters, lore, and even offering an alternate ending. It still follows NERV, a paramilitary group that uses EBA units to fight mysterious beings known as angels, but it dives even deeper into the psychological and philosophical themes that make Evangelion so unique. A deluxe hardcover edition would be the ultimate way to experience the series, a sturdy premium release that keeps the bonus content while offering the best reading experience possible. And with the 30th anniversary happening now, there's no better time for Viz to make it happen. Next, I want to talk about Attack on Titan. The Attack on Titan Colossal Editions gave us a taste of what this series could look like in an oversized format. The larger pages made the artwork shine, but the flimsy paperback format and bold orange spines weren't for everyone, including me. They creased easily, weren't very durable, and honestly would have benefited from being hardcover in the first place. Now that the series is complete at 34 volumes, there's never been a better time for a true collector's edition. Kodansha has already started releasing deluxe hardcovers for Vinland Saga, one of my favorite series they publish, so Attack on Titan, one of their biggest and best-selling series, feels like an obvious next step. Right now, Attack on Titan is available in singles, box sets, 3-in-1 omnibuses, and the Colossal Editions, but we still don't have a true premium release. The Colossal Editions showed how great this series looks in a larger format, but they lack the quality and durability that Attack on Titan truly deserves. This series is a once-in-a-lifetime phenomenon, blending mystery, horror, action, and political intrigue into one gripping, unpredictable story. Every volume peels back another layer of its complex story, keeping you hooked until the very end. That's exactly why Attack on Titan needs a deluxe hardcover edition, something that finally gives us fans a definitive way to collect the series. With Kodansha coming out with premium releases, I really hope Attack on Titan is next in line. With Vagabond finally getting its definitive edition, it only makes sense that Takehiko Inoue's other series follow. Seeing Vagabond in an oversized, high-quality format made me realize just how much Slam Dunk would benefit from the same treatment. While Real is just as deserving, Slam Dunk is the one I'm focusing on here. Not just because it's arguably the best sports manga of all time, but because we've already seen special editions released in other countries, and the series is fully complete at 31 volumes. It's long overdue for a hardcover release. Right now, Slam Dunk is available in 31 individual volumes from Viz, which are still in print, but for a series this legendary, it deserves a premium edition that truly showcases Inoue's artwork and storytelling. Takehiko Inoue isn't just a great storyteller, he's one of the best artists in all of manga. His ability to capture movement, expression, and raw emotion is unparalleled. While Vagabond highlights his refined brushstroke-heavy style, Slam Dunk is just as visually striking, with some of the cleanest, most dynamic panels. One of the things that sets Slam Dunk apart is how deeply you feel every moment, from the highs of victory to the crushing weight of defeat. Inoue doesn't just make you watch the games, he makes you feel them. The sweat, exhaustion, determination, every dunk, every steal, every second counts. But Slam Dunk isn't just about basketball. It's about the players. Unlike many sports manga that hyper-focus on the protagonist, Slam Dunk highlights the entire team. The camaraderie, the struggles, the growth, you really truly get behind every player. And Inoue's love for basketball is felt in every panel. And that's exactly why Slam Dunk needs a deluxe. With how much Inoue's art shines in a larger format, this would be the ultimate way to experience the series. When I first picked up the Blom Master Editions, I couldn't be more excited. Tsutomu Nihei's detailed, sprawling landscapes and structures look absolutely stunning in a larger format. But the more I read them, the more I thought about something. Blom needs a hardcover edition. The Master Editions are great and are beautifully designed, but they're still paperbacks and they're prone to spine creasing, bending, and general wear over time. A hardcover release would not only enhance the reading experience, but it would be the ultimate way to collect one of the best sci-fi manga of all time. Blom was released in 6 oversized Master Editions by Vertical, which are still in print. These are the best way to read the series right now, since the original single volumes are long out of print. The Master Editions give us a taste of what Blom looks like in a larger format, and they prove just how much Nihei's art benefits from an edition with great page and print quality. But I don't think they're the definitive way to collect the series. For a series like this, a deluxe hardcover would be the ultimate dream. Blom is a deep, immersive story with almost no dialogue. Instead of relying on words, it lets the world and the art do the storytelling. And few mangaka understand scale, architecture, and atmosphere like Nihei does. The world of Blom is massive, a dystopian cityscape that stretches endlessly in every direction. The use of negative space, towering structures, and intricate line work makes every page feel like you're falling deeper into this cold, industrial nightmare. His environments are so well crafted and immersive, you can feel the weight of the silence as Killy journeys through them. A hardcover edition would finally give this art the treatment it deserves. The deep blacks, intense shading, and hyper-detailed line work would shine even more on high-quality paper and an oversized format that doesn't crease or bend with use. Then there are the character designs. The Silicon Life in particular are some of the most unnerving and nightmarish creatures in manga, reminiscent of H.R. Geiger's biomechanical horror. And yet, as terrifying as they are, they're also beautifully designed, blending seamlessly into the world's eerie mechanical aesthetic. Tsutomu Nihei is a master of visual storytelling, and Blom is his most influential work to date. It redefined how a manga can tell a story through atmosphere and scale, and there's no other series quite like it. Seeing the Master Editions made me realize just how perfect this series would be in a deluxe hardcover, and if that ever happens, I can't wait to pick them up. Up next, we have Tokyo Ghoul, one of the most talked about and popular seinen manga, and for good reason. It's a dark, action-packed horror story, but also deeply psychological series that makes you question the gray areas between good and evil. With its intense battles and stunning artwork, Tokyo Ghoul is a series that truly deserves a deluxe. We've already seen what's possible with the Monster Editions. They showed us just how incredible Tokyo Ghoul looks in a larger format. But as much as I love them, they're still oversized paperbacks, which means they're prone to dents, spine creases, and wear over time. A hardcover edition would be an amazing way to own this series, making Sui Yoshida's art look even better while giving us a premium durable format. Currently, Tokyo Ghoul is available in 3 formats: the standard single volumes, which are great for collecting the original covers, the complete box set, a more affordable way to collect the series with a sleek box set, the Monster Editions. These look amazing, but they're flimsy and already going out of print, making them harder and expensive to find. The Monster Editions, as mentioned earlier, proved how much better Tokyo Ghoul looks in an oversized format, but their fragility makes them far from the best edition. A deluxe hardcover would solve this, finally giving us the perfect way to collect and reread this series without worrying about damaging the volumes. But why does Tokyo Ghoul need a hardcover edition? One of Tokyo Ghoul's biggest strengths is its main character, Kaneki, who finds himself caught between 2 worlds, human and ghoul. His inner struggle mirrors the larger conflict of the series, where the line between hero and villain isn't so clear-cut. This psychological exploration, combined with its intense action and horror elements, make Tokyo Ghoul stand out from anything else in the genre. At its core, Tokyo Ghoul is about identity, survival, and the search for belonging. Kaneki is just an ordinary college student when he's thrown into this violent, unforgiving world. He has to redefine who he is while trying to understand both the ghouls he's now part of and the humans he used to be one of. It's brutal, heartbreaking, and thought-provoking, and Ishida's art style brings it all to life in a way that a larger, high-quality format could showcase even better. Sui Ishida's aesthetic and paneling are some of the most unique I've ever seen, with delicate, intricate line work and raw, chaotic energy on every page. The Monster Edition showed how well his art shines in a bigger format, but the paperback binding holds it back. A deluxe would be the best possible way to collect this series and fully appreciate his work. Then we have Goodnight Punpun, which is one of the most gut-wrenching and beautifully crafted series I've ever read. Inio Asano has a way of creating stories that feel painfully real, and this one hits hard. It's raw, introspective, and emotionally brutal, but it's also one of the most important manga I've ever read. As much as I love the single volumes and their minimalist, bold color designs, Goodnight Punpun is a series that deserves a hardcover. Not just because of its impact, but because Asano's artwork is on a whole other level. His cityscapes, his character expressions, the way Punpun's form changes throughout the series to reflect his mental state, there's so much detail and attention in every panel, and I want to see it fully realized in a larger format. Right now, Goodnight Punpun is available in 7 paperback omnibuses from Viz, and while they look amazing, they're not as durable or premium as this series deserves. If there's any manga that needs a bigger, high-quality format, it's this one. Asano is known for his insane attention to detail. Seeing that kind of precision in a larger format would be amazing. There are many reasons as to why Goodnight Punpun needs a deluxe. First off, it isn't just a story about growing up, it's a deep dive into mental health, trauma, and how the experiences we have shape who we become. It follows Punpun Onodera, a kid navigating a world that seems determined to break him down. From family dysfunction to heartbreak to existential dread, we see him struggle, spiral, and search for meaning in ways that feel all too real. What makes it so unique, though, is how Asano visually represents Punpun's emotions. His abstract, bird-like form shifts throughout the series, growing darker, more distorted, and sometimes downright terrifying. It's such a brilliant use of visual storytelling. It's something that would be even more striking in an oversized edition. Asano's stories aren't for everyone. His style is cynical, unfiltered, and often uncomfortable, but that's what makes them stand out. Goodnight Punpun makes you feel its story, even when you don't want to. And while it's not an easy read, it's one of the most profound manga out there, showing both the ugly and beautiful sides of life in a way that few other series ever have. If you've seen my Inio Asano manga guide, you know his works aren't meant to be easy or comforting, but they're some of the best. Goodnight Punpun, though, is my favorite of his, and as someone who's been blown away by both its storytelling and art, I'd love nothing more than to own a premium edition that fully captures what makes it so special. If Viz ever releases a deluxe, it's an instant buy for me. Goodnight Punpun is my most wanted, but honestly, I'd love to see all of Inio Asano's works get a hardcover release at some point in time. This next creator, Naoki Urasawa, has created some of the best mystery and psychological thriller manga of all time. And while I'd love to see Pluto and 20th Century Boys get deluxes, I think the most likely first step would be Monster. Why, Monster is Urasawa's most well-known series internationally, and it fits the kind of series Viz has been upgrading to premium formats. Monster is a timeless psychological thriller, and with Viz stepping up their deluxe-style releases, it feels like a matter of time before we see a hardcover edition of his works. Right now, Monster is available in the Perfect Edition omnibuses from Viz, which are great in terms of readability and design, but they're still paperback. A hardcover oversized format would give this series the premium treatment it deserves. One of the biggest reasons Monster deserves a deluxe edition is because Urasawa is a master of mystery and suspense, and his artwork is just as meticulous as his storytelling. His realistic character designs, expressive emotions, and European-inspired settings all deserve to be seen in a larger format. His use of framing, perspective, and panel composition makes Monster feel like a high-budget thriller, and a deluxe edition would only enhance the reading experience further. Monster is also one of the most thought-provoking manga ever written. It's a story about morality, justice, and the nature of evil, centering on Dr. Kenzo Tenma, a man who made a single choice that changed everything. His decision to save the life of a young boy unknowingly unleashed a true monster into the world, and from that moment forward, he's forced to chase the consequences of his actions. Urasawa is one of the best at creating multi-layered characters, and in Monster, every character, no matter how big or small their role, feels fully realized and essential to the story. His ability to connect timelines, weave in political themes, and build slow-burning tension makes Monster one of those series that just gets better the more it sits with you. This is exactly the kind of series that deserves a high-quality edition. With Monster being one of the most critically acclaimed seinen manga ever, a deluxe edition only seems fitting. Urasawa's work has had a massive impact on manga, and as someone who loves his series, I'd love nothing more than to own a high-quality hardcover version of Monster, and Pluto, and 20th Century Boys for that matter. All are among my favorites, so here's hoping. Alright, now we're getting into my top 3 most wanted. Up first, we have Eden It's an Endless World by Hiroki Endo. It's one of the most underrated sci-fi manga of all time. It's brutal, thought-provoking, and has a cyberpunk feel that puts it in the same league as Akira for me, but with a stronger emphasis on political struggle, survival, and human nature. It's one of those series that stays with you long after you've read it, yet it remains criminally underrated, and I think a big reason for that is how difficult it is to collect right now. The single volumes from Dark Horse are long out of print, and if you try to track them down now, you're looking at ridiculously high prices for secondhand copies. It's one of those series that deserves to be brought back into the spotlight, and a deluxe edition would be the perfect way to do that. Dark Horse has already been giving their best seinen manga the premium treatment, and considering how amazing and hard Eden is to find, it would be the perfect series to bring back with a high-quality, long-lasting edition. But why does Eden need a deluxe? First, the world building and realism in this series are unmatched. Eden takes place in a post-apocalyptic future where a devastating virus has wiped out much of humanity, leaving behind a world of cybernetic enhancements, survivalist factions, and global power struggles. The world is cold, harsh, and brutally realistic, and Endo doesn't shy away from showing the absolute worst of humanity. At the same time, though, Eden isn't just about violence and survival. There are moments of light, warmth, and human connection that make the story hit even harder. The philosophical themes, political conflicts, and character-driven story make it one of the most profound and best series I've ever read. This is a manga that deserves to be rediscovered, and a deluxe edition would finally make it accessible again. If Eden gets the deluxe edition treatment, here's what I'd love to see. An oversized hardcover format with high-quality paper, bonus content including notes, cover galleries, and concept sketches, a sleek, cyberpunk-inspired hardcover design, something that reflects the series' cold dystopian atmosphere. The French Perfect Editions, although paperback, did an amazing job here, so there's a lot they could take note from here. With Eden being one of the hardest to find manga in English, a deluxe edition would be amazing. It would give new readers a chance to finally experience this amazing story, and for longtime fans like me, it would be a dream come true to own it in a format that truly does it justice. Dark Horse has already shown they're willing to bring back great series with deluxe editions, so I'm really hoping Eden is next. This is one of the best sci-fi manga out there, and it deserves to be in the spotlight once again. My second most wanted is Dorohedoro by Q Hayashida, and is one of those once-in-a-lifetime series. It's dark, chaotic, and full of over-the-top violence, but somehow it's also heartfelt, hilarious, and one of the most fun reads out there. It has some of my favorite characters in manga, a world that feels gritty and grimy yet strangely inviting, and an art style that's completely raw, expressive, and packed with detail. It's a series that's hard to explain but impossible to forget, and it only gets better the more you read it. And as much as I love the standard volumes, Dorohedoro is the kind of manga that deserves an oversized edition, one that really lets Q Hayashida's masterpiece shine. Right now, Dorohedoro is available in standard volumes from Viz, which thankfully are still in print. But while these editions are great, they don't quite do the art and world building justice. Dorohedoro is one of the most visually dense manga out there, and reading it in a bigger format with premium paper would only make the reading experience better. Viz has been stepping up their game with deluxe style releases. We've seen it with the Vagabond Definitive Editions, which I recently reviewed on the channel. So a Dorohedoro Deluxe feels like something that could actually happen if all goes well. One of the biggest reasons Dorohedoro deserves a deluxe edition is the artwork. Q Hayashida's art style is gritty, sketchy, and packed with personality, with pages that feel alive in a way most manga don't. Her backgrounds are detailed, her action scenes are completely unhinged, and her character designs are some of the best in manga, from Kaiman's Lizardhead to the bizarre sorcerer masks inspired by Slipknot. With how much texture and energy her art has, the standard volumes feel too small to really appreciate all of the details. A larger format with better paper quality would make a massive difference here. But beyond the art, Dorohedoro also has one of the most lovable and memorable casts in manga. Every character feels necessary to this story, and whether they're brutal killers, misfits, or complete weirdos, they all bring something unique to the table. One of my favorite things about Dorohedoro is the way it balances the chaotic, bloody battles with a real sense of community and found family. There are moments of warmth and humor that hit even harder because of how dark this world is, and I think that's part of what makes this series so incredible. This series is near and dear to my heart, it's my comfort zone, and it's rare to find a manga that blends horror, comedy, action, and mystery so seamlessly. If Dorohedoro gets a deluxe edition, here's what I would love to see. Oversized hardcover format like the Vagabond Definitive Editions, high-quality paper, bonus content like full-color artwork, concept sketches, and maybe even notes from Hayashida herself. There's a lot of artwork and content to pull from thanks to the Mud and Sludge art book, so there's a lot that could be done here. And then I'd also love to see a hardcover with unique texture or embossing, something that matches the series' grungy industrial aesthetic. With Dorohedoro being one of Viz's most beloved seinen series, a deluxe edition would be amazing. It's a series that deserves the best possible format, and as a longtime fan, I can't tell you how much I'd love to own premium hardcovers of this series on my shelf. Here's hoping. And now it's time for my number one most wanted, Gantz. If you have been following my channel for a while, you already know how much I love this series. I talk about it a lot. I've done a full spoiler-free review of the series, included in my best of videos, and it's easily one of my most wanted deluxe editions. It's a series that has everything I love: high-stakes action, insane artwork, and emotional moments that hit way harder than you'd expect. And now that Dark Horse has been putting out some of their best series in deluxe editions, I think it's only a matter of time before Gantz gets the same treatment. If you're looking to pick up Gantz, there are a few ways to collect it right now. The original single volumes are out of print and are expensive to track down. Dark Horse has been releasing 3-in-1 omnibus editions, which are a great way to read the series at retail, but they don't offer the premium format that a series like Gantz really deserves. With the omnibuses, Dark Horse has done a great job of keeping Gantz accessible, but with how well the series has been selling, a deluxe edition feels like the logical next step. But why does Gantz need a deluxe edition? First off, Gantz is the kind of series that demands a larger format. Hiroya Oku's hyper-detailed cinematic artwork would shine in an oversized hardcover with high-quality printing. His use of realistic environments, dynamic action, and intricate character designs already make Gantz feel like a movie on the page, and reading it in a deluxe would be the best way to experience it. Apart from the art, Gantz is also one of Dark Horse's top-selling manga, something they've confirmed in past panels. Considering they've already released deluxe editions for Berserk, Hellsing, and Blade of the Immortal, Gantz seems like a natural choice to follow. And for anyone who may think that Gantz is just mindless action, I promise it's so much more than that. Yes, it's intense, over-the-top, and relentless, but at its core, it's a series that explores human nature under extreme pressure. The way the characters evolve, the moral dilemmas they face, and the choices they're forced to make give the story real emotional weight. If Gantz gets a deluxe edition, here's what I'd love to see. Obviously, a hardcover format like Berserk's Deluxe Editions, maybe a black leather style could potentially work with silver embossing. Red would look good too, but with the Berserk Deluxes, they most likely go another direction here. A 3-in-1 format with high quality paper to bring out Oku's artwork, and bonus content like cover galleries, concept art, and maybe even interviews with Oku. Dark Horse has already proven they can deliver high quality deluxe releases, and with Gantz being one of their best selling series, a deluxe just makes sense. As a Gantz fan, I've been waiting for this for years, and I know I'm not the only one. Seeing this series finally get the premium hardcover release it deserves would be a dream come true, and I'm hopeful that it's only a matter of time before we see it happen. When and if it ever comes out, I'm hitting that pre order button faster than I ever have before. Before we wrap up, there are a few more series I'd love to see get deluxes, but for different reasons, I think they're either further down the line or less likely in the near future. Some of these are still ongoing, just now getting licensed in the US, or are more niche, meaning there's a smaller but passionate fan base behind them. That doesn't mean they don't deserve the deluxe treatment, just that they may take longer to happen. But if these ever get announced, they'd be absolutely amazing. First up, we have One Punch Man. This one definitely has the demand, and with Yusuke Murata's top tier artwork, it would look stunning in a larger format. But since it's still ongoing, I don't see Viz rushing to do deluxe editions anytime soon. Then there's Kingdom. I couldn't be happier that the series is finally getting licensed in the US and coming in fall 2025. But with 74 plus volumes in Japan, we're a long way from catching up on this series. If we ever get hardcovers, they'd be way down the road, but it would be amazing to see. Another one I'd love to see is Death Note. It's compact, complete, and one of Viz's biggest series, so a hardcover edition would make total sense. But since they've already released so many versions of it, I'm not sure they'd go for another, though I'd pick it up in a heartbeat. Then again, their willingness to release so many editions could mean that they'd have no problem releasing another, so fingers crossed. For this next one, MPD Psycho, this one actually seems possible. Dark Horse have been giving many of their series the deluxe treatment lately, including a few that have been out of print, so here's hoping. Then there's Air Gear by Oh Great, which is one of my favorite manga artists. The detail and energy in these panels is unreal, and it's been out of print for years, so it's overdue for a re-release. A deluxe edition would be a perfect way to bring it back. This also applies to Batum. This one has been out of print and expensive to collect for a while. I hope Yen Press reprints the series. It has high stakes, beautiful art, and complex characters. If they reprinted it, I'm not sure they go straight to deluxe, but they recently released Übel Blatt, which went from mostly out of print to a deluxe, so who knows? A girl can dream. As for this next one, Toilet Bound Hanako-kun, it has such a unique aesthetic that would make a fantastic deluxe edition. Yen Press is still releasing box sets though, so I don't expect anything beyond that anytime soon, but I'd love to see it eventually. And finally, Witch Hat Atelier. This is one of the most beautiful manga out there. The art is incredible, and a hardcover edition would truly do it justice. But since it's still ongoing, we're most likely going to have to wait a little bit if this were to happen. So those are a few that I'd love to see get the deluxe edition treatment someday. Me personally, Gantz, Dorohedoro, and Eden is an Endless World are at the top of my list, but I'd love to see all of these and more in the future. I can't wait to see what publishers have in store for us next. Which one do you hope happens first, or do you have a different series you want to see? Let me know in the comments. Also, if you want more manga edition comparisons, check out my other videos where I go over the best hardcover manga and compare almost every deluxe edition that's been released so far. And if you enjoyed the video, please give it a like and subscribe. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all next time.